Hi friends, today I'm sharing 5 Glam Foam Pumpkin DIYs that turned out absolutely gorgeous. Soft, sparkly, and perfect for fall. I'm Colleen, and this is the Gilded Chickadee. Settle in, hit that subscribe button, and let's make something beautiful together. For this first DIY, I'm starting with a pumpkin I painted and prepped last year. The top's already removed and the florals are set in the foam, so we'll pick up right from there. I'm just doing a dry fit here to make sure the floral foam fits in the opening. Applying hot glue here helps the foam stay put. If your foam's not fitting right, just grab your utility or X-Acto knife and trim a bit more off, or widen the hole slightly until it fits snug. I'm adding glue to the lower half of the pumpkin so anything I put on next will stick really well. A foam brush could work too. It might make it easier to get into the recessed areas. I'm adding crushed glass to the pumpkin to give it a sparkling glam finish. For the deeper areas, using your fingers helps make sure the glue holds everything in place. I continued adding glue and crushed glass until this part was finished. And just a little note, my voiceover might sound a bit robotic right now, but I promise to improve as we go. For this next part, I decided to use this vase filler that I got from Temu. It's like little pearls and rhinestones. The pearls are pink and white, and they're all different sizes. So I just used just a random variety of pieces all along the top of the crushed gold, going all the way around the pumpkin, and it ended up looking really pretty. I glued some of the white pearls on top of the crushed gold area just to help add some interest to that area. For this next part, my camera had stopped recording. I had put this pink fabric around the green foam to help hide it, and then you don't end up seeing it because I ended up putting fake leaves inside of the foam just above it, and it covers that area. And that's it for pumpkin number 1. I'm really loving how it turned out. Now let's start on pumpkin number 2. For this DIY, we're starting with the same foam pumpkin from the Dollar Tree as the first DIY. I'm just painting it with a warm white dollar store acrylic paint here. While the pumpkin dried in front of the fan, I applied some hot glue to these silicone molds that I have of flowers, and I'm going to glue these flowers onto the pumpkin. But first I'm going to apply a second coat of the warm white paint. 2 coats of the warm white paint wasn't enough, so I had to go in with a third round of paint. So I decided to use this dabber type sponge brush, and it seemed to really help with the coverage, and you couldn't see the orange peeking through anymore. Look at these little flowers coming out of the mold. They're like tiny blooms from a fairy garden. They're going to make the pumpkin feel magical and full of life. For something like this, you could also try air dry clay. I think it would be easier to sand any edges if needed. I won't use hot glue next time since it can overfill the tiny details and leave little ridges that are tricky to trim. But it's still fine to use hot glue to attach the molded flowers to the pumpkin. This will assure that those little flowers stay in place indefinitely. I kept adding flowers until I was happy with the look, but you can use as many or as few as you like. It's all about creating the look you want. Now I'm adding rhinestones to the stem to give the pumpkin a little extra sparkle and a glamorous finishing touch. Since the stem is tapered, I used 3 sections of rhinestones and carefully squeezed them down so they fit snugly. I topped it with a flat back gem for a finishing sparkle. I just love how it shines. This is how the pumpkin is looking so far. I had a few different gold trims to choose from, but I ended up going with this one. I thought it would look the nicest on the pumpkin. It has that perfect touch of elegance without overpowering everything. I spaced 4 strips evenly around the pumpkin to highlight its shape and keep the look balanced. Press the trim into the glue. I used a popsicle stick since I couldn't find my thumb protector. And once the glue cooled a bit, I pressed it down with my thumb to make sure it was nice and secure all the way to the bottom. And if you want to give your pumpkin a really finished look, you could glue a round piece of felt to the bottom. I didn't think to do that here, but I might go back and add it later. Next, I used my paint dabber to add color to the hot glue flowers. I went with soft pinks, a touch of champagne gold, and a bit of warm white. Those tones really bring out the details and give the flowers that romantic, glam look that I love. I went in with this little paintbrush to add some warm white to spots that I accidentally had gotten some pink paint on. Using the single trim, I went around the base of the stem first, which immediately adds a polished, finished touch. Then I made a little bow and glued it right at the base of the stem. It's such a simple detail, but it really ties everything together and softens the overall look. I love how something that small can make the whole piece feel complete. Simple, soft, and glam. I'm obsessed with how this one came together. For this pumpkin, I already gave it one coat of yellow chalk paint, let it dry, and now I'm dabbing on the second. I started adding strands of pearls and rhinestones, alternating them right into the grooves. Then I brushed gold paint over the stem, and while it was still wet, I sprinkled on some glamour dust. This one honestly feels straight out of a fairy tale. And now on to pumpkin number 4. Here we started with a few layers of gold paint, because let's be honest, there's no such thing as too much gold. I dabbed the stem with warm white, then add strands of rhinestones, mixing up shorter and longer ones along the grooves. To stay with the floral theme, I glued on these little clear flowers with gold edges. I'm obsessed with them. This one turned out so glam, it's giving royal centerpiece energy. Now on to our last, but definitely not least, glam pumpkin. We painted alternating thick stripes of pink, champagne gold, and warm white. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Napoleon ice cream. Next, we glued lace into all of the grooves, and to top it off, the stem got a shiny coat of champagne gold. I feel like this pumpkin really ties them all together, and just like that, our glam pumpkin DIYs are complete. Thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed your visit. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Can't wait to see you in the next one.